Are you a slicer? Are you a slicer? Are you? So many of you are, so I know what the answer is. How can you stop the slice? Well, the fastest way to stop the slice is getting control of your club face. And if you haven't seen the previous videos that we've been talking about using your hands to control your club face, I would say go back, watch those, then come back to this. However, the ones that have seen that, continue. As we go forward, what's the fastest way? If this club is going like this, that ball is going to the right. What's the fastest way? Is it to do this? No, that's not going to help. Is it to turn my hips more? No, that's not helping. Is it turn my shoulders more? Yeah, but it's still open. So what's the fastest way? Your hands. So how do we get that? How do we get where we're coming in and you're coming in, you're hitting it, and the club is pointing to the right like that? How do you do that? Well, when I learned to play, I was taught to rotate your forearms. And it was big back then to call it pronation, because that's what Ben Hogan did it, and he called it in his book. He called it pronation. Turning over this. This is supination. That's pronation. And what it does is, if you have a problem hitting to right, well, guess what that does? That straightens the club up. And it's something that you can practice. However, it doesn't mean you're just going to hit these perfect draws to the left, these perfect balls that just slightly go left. It's going to take some practice, because as you start doing that, what happens to many people is, as they start trying to turn their arms over, turn their wrists, turn their forearms, turn their hands, pronate, supinate, whatever you want to call it, what starts happening is you start doing it and you hit one and it's bam, and it just goes perfect. You go, wow, this stuff works. I better do that again. And then next time you get up there and you try it even harder and you go, bam, and the ball gets smothered dead to the left. So why is that? Because you haven't developed the motor skill yet of how to control the hands. You can't just throw them at it. You have to have a motor skill. And the pros, when the pros swing, they will go through, and you will see this crossover as I'm showing here. But they're able to do that crossover effectively because they hit thousands of balls. Thousands of balls. And they've been able to develop the motor skill of how to get their hands to go like this. And they've learned the motor skill of blending what their body and their hands are doing together. What we see with most golfers is they're either working on the body, or they're working on their hands, or they're working on this, or they're working on that, and they're not blending it together. At GMS, we believe blend it together like in athletics, any other athletic sport. Don't isolate each place. So as you're going through here, yeah, get your body to move through and get your hands to move through. And start feeling something like this. I can't tell you what to do. Everybody's swing is different. Everybody's going to think of their swing differently. I could just give you ideas on letting you feel. It's going to be up to you to take the practice and start feeling it. And if you do, you'll become a better player. Don't forget about your hands. Your hands are as equally as important as your shoulders, your hips, etc. This is Mark Solomon from Golf Made Simple saying, be careful about golf tips. All they do is to ensure problems. Saying thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Troon Golf, for Indian Wells Golf Resort. Speak to you next week.